He's a busy man, he's a busy coach, but he's making time for us right now here on OneSoccer. Today, Andy Gare still with you, and head coach of Forge FC, Bobby Smyrniotis, back on the show. Bobby, it's so great to see you. We have a lot to dive into. We're going to talk CPL, Canadian Championship, CONCACAF League. So yeah, I wasn't exaggerating when I said you're busy. But I do want to ask you about some news that came out earlier this week, and that is that the Canadian Premier League will have 2 berths in CONCACAF Champions League beginning in 2023. Obviously, you're a club that knows what it means to try and fight for that spot. So what were your thoughts, your reaction when you heard that starting in 2023, the CPL, will have 2 clubs competing in that prestigious competition?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. We've been there now for 3 years competing in the region, and I think the more games, the more competition we can get there for more teams in our league. It's excellent. We're seeing it with multiple countries from Central America who have multiple berths in the competition, and I think a few more from our league would do wonders, and I think it'll be great. It's obviously going to be a little bit different than what we're competing in right now with CONCACAF League, and the way that the structure is, but I think it just keeps on increasing the profile of the league and the clubs, and we've seen how great it's been for our club competing in the region.
The more Forge games, the better, Bobby. It's a lot of fun watching you compete for the unprecedented quadruple, because obviously there's a 2020 Canadian Championship, that business to take care of as well. Well played on Tuesday night against Independiente. Just watching from home, I was too soft to be out there in the rain on Tuesday night, Bobby. But the one thing that drove me absolutely crazy, I wanted to break through the screen, was the time wasting. Independiente dug deep into their book of ways to time waste at Tim Hortons Field. What do you do in a scenario like that? What are you saying to the officials? And if you get an early goal down in Panama on Tuesday night, do you just simply employ the same tactics?
Yeah, I think it's one thing that you learn competing down there, and it's one thing we've talked about from year one, and we've had to play a lot of games away. So you deal with these circumstances quite often. You just got to roll with it. What I tell the guys is enjoy every second that comes along with it. Don't be bothered by it. And to be honest, Gareth, there's not much you can do with the officials. The officials are from the region. They know the game. They know how things are done, and a lot of this stuff is done in the region. So you're not going to win that battle. But your players also have to be smart in those situations. And when they have to do something similar in certain aspects of the game, we have to be able to do it. It's part of the game. I know a lot of times we talk about it. We talk about avoiding it and so on. But I think it's so entrenched in CONCACAF football that sometimes you have to embrace it. And most importantly, don't allow it to veer what you're doing on the pitch. And I think that's the biggest thing we try to relay to the team.
Let's talk a little bit about the Canadian Championship. You advanced to the semifinals, Bobby, and we know you're going to be taking on an MLS side in CF Montreal. How much are you relishing in that challenge? And just what kind of game are you expecting?
Yeah, most importantly, it's as Garrett said, we have 4 competitions we're actually competing for this year. We got 4 cups, and we want to make sure we go as deep as we can and challenge for as many trophies as we can. So first and foremost, that's the important thing of us being in the semifinals. It so happens that we'll play Montreal in the next game. It's another team. It's a team that's doing fantastic in MLS. If you look at the 3 Canadian teams, I think they're going about it the best this year. But the one thing I know is every team has their strong points and every team has their weak points. And as a team, we're confident like that. And when the game comes, we'll look to see what we can do to make sure that we can try and get ourselves competing for another trophy.
The games are coming thick and fast. There's going to be some schedule congestion. But let's talk about the way that your team's performing and playing right now. You've just scored 21 goals through 17 Canadian Premier League games. You're brilliant to watch, the patterns of play, the possession, the movement. It's all on point, Bobby, but are you looking for a little bit more in the attacking third, just in terms of chances created, the types of chances created? Because that just seems like the one area that's maybe perhaps lacking right now.
Yeah, I think if you look at it, I put things into context, and the quality of chances are there in the games. Early on in the season, we've had a lot of injuries. There's been a lot of shuffling of things and moving players around and maybe taking guys and playing them too much because you don't have any other options. And I think there you lose a little bit of sharpness. We're probably at a point now in this last week where we finally have everyone healthy at our disposal, and that allows guys to get in a better rhythm of things. But you look at it in chances created, where our shot locations are from, where we're getting the ball. we're getting into good situations, but of course we want more goals. You know, that's a given. It's something I talked about since 2019.
It'll probably take Emery Welshman a couple more games to just get up and running, up to full speed with this group. One player who has been here for the duration of the season is obviously Tristan Borges, the best player in the Canadian Premier League in 2019. We're not seeing the exact same type of production. I believe just 2 or 3 goals, 3 goals in all competitions this season. Are you waiting for a breakout game from Tristan? What are you seeing? Is the process there? Maybe just, again, the final product might be just a little bit off at this point.
Yeah, I think, he was caught off a little bit in the rhythm in Winnipeg. He's gone out in that third game and has missed quite a big chunk of games going forward. And that's tough for a player. It's also tough for a player who didn't play a lot last season, to get into rhythm. But the one thing we've talked about with Tristan is this team is deep. This team is deep in attackers. You mentioned Emery Welshman. We'll bring in Omar Brown as well, who has arrived and started training with the club. So we don't need the one player to be the most special guy, but we need to make sure that they're having those breakthrough moments. I think Tristan has been excellent for us in CONCACAF League. We look down to the games against CD Fas, and I think he's helped us reach the next stage. So we just need that, one game at a time. And the biggest thing, like I said before, is I think the guys are finally, getting into stride, and we're starting to see a lot of the movements that we want, and the guys a little bit more comfortable in doing that, and just breaking that chain of, you've got 4 guys who aren't healthy, they get healthy, you lose another 2, 3 guys, they get back, and then you're losing other guys as well. Hopefully everything is good. We're getting in a tight part of the schedule with different cup competitions. Important game on Saturday with Pacific. Fly down to Panama for what's an important CONCACAF League game, followed by another CPL game and what maybe will look like the semifinals of the Canadian Championships.
Amazing.
Bobby, I hope you could carve out some time. Yeah, I just hope you can carve out some time to relax because, truly, this is a nonstop schedule for you. You just keep going and going. But it's good for us. We enjoy watching it, Bobby, and we really appreciate you taking the time today.
Good luck, Bobby.
Thank you very much, guys.